What's up, all my Ewoks, Shovels, Droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars Girl, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of Season 3, Episode 2 of Star Trek Picard. Now, unlike all of the other new Star Trek shows, this actually isn't shit, because the people that made this show have actually watched Star Trek, which is amazing. You would think, hey, I'm working on a Star Trek show. Maybe I should, like, I don't know, take a week and go do some work and some research, and I don't know, just sit there and watch Netflix, because back when the new shows were coming out, Star Trek was still on Netflix. Go sit down and watch Netflix, and we'll go watch all of the Star Trek and, learn about it. I don't know, kind of like the dude that directed The Wrath of Khan, and The Wrath of Khan has gone down in history as one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. Crazy how that guy had never seen Star Trek, and then he's like, oh, let me do some research and go watch the show. Of course, he only had to watch 3 seasons, but it's good, so it doesn't really matter. He went back and watched it, was like, oh, that character's actually interesting. Let's do something on that. Let's just make this awesome space epic, and look at how that turned out. So it's like, oh my gosh, doing research, knowing the source material makes a big difference, which it did in this episode. So let me tell you all about it. By the way, if you missed episode 1, link for it is down in the description of this video for my review. Now, last we left off on a big cliffhanger, which is like, ooh, the guy that was on the ship with Beverly, he is her son, da-da-da-dun. So it's like a big Wesley upgrade. They're like, get the hell out of here, Wesley. Thank goodness the Traveler took you away from all of us. And even in the after show when Will Wheaton's talking, you can tell he's so bitter about it. It's like, yeah, you sucked, and even you as a person kind of suck now too, from what I have seen at least. And so, let's get a major upgrade. So Beverly's been like AWOL for the past 20-something years, even though the guy that's playing her son is much older than 20. No offense, he looks great, but he's very obviously not 20 years old. So 20 years ago, I guess she took off and didn't tell anyone that she had a kid, even though we all know who his father is. Spoiler, it's Captain Picard, if you didn't see that one coming. Oh my gosh. And she kind of sort of named him after her first husband, who was Picard's best friend, and, obviously her first husband. And there's that whole great episode where they get kidnapped, or I guess not really kidnapped, but they're trying to make first contact and see, or not first contact, I shouldn't even say that. God, I'm failing in this video. But, it was a planet where there was like one part that wanted to be part of the Federation, the other part that was kind of xenophobic, and the part that was xenophobic took Picard and Beverly, and they did something to their minds so they could read each other's minds. And that's when she found out that Picard used to be in love with her, and he hated whenever she talks about Jack. And so it's like, oh my God. And still she named his son after her first husband and his former best friend. Kind of weird there. I don't know why she did that, but she did what she did. Whatever, maybe that's why they got into a fight and she took off for 20 years. Who knows? Maybe we'll find that out. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. The beginning of this episode, it starts off with 2 weeks ago. So we see Jack doing stuff, and he's kind of got that, what we used to see when it was Picard flashbacks, like when Q takes him and does the flashback, and we can see what Picard used to be like. I feel like they were kind of going for that vibe with him, and so he's trying to deliver medical supplies and cough weapons. And they mentioned something about the Mariposa ship or settlement. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I was like, oh, that's a callback to an episode. That was the one where the people, they landed on the planet, but they split, and so there was one that was farmers and the other one were clones, and they were trying to steal everyone's DNA, and that was pretty funny. And then they all had to get together, and they're like, oh, each woman has to have 3 different husbands and have at least one husband or one kid with each of them. And they're like, oh, all the guys were like, ooh, cool, I get 3 wives. That was a funny episode, but that ship was called the Mariposa. And so I was like, oh, cool, right off the bat we got a little Easter egg thing, and it shows Jack talking to these people, and he's like, oh yeah, we know that this whole disease was engineered by your government and fighting. And so he shows that he's got medical supplies and weapons. The guys take the weapons, and then they call some lady who of course is the bad lady that shows up with the ship at the end. So now we've jumped to the present, and we got Picard and Riker and Jack on the bridge of the ship, and Riker is not an idiot. He knows exactly what is going on and who that kid's parents really are, or who his daddy is. Blatantly obvious. The British accent didn't give it away, even though that's not exactly how genetic works. But anyways, so we got the lady who awesome. I haven't seen this lady in forever. She's Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction. So she's the bad chick. She shows up. She's got her big ship. We got Seven and Shaw with the Titan off in the distance, and they obviously can see with their sensors what's going on. So Seven's got to kind of convince Shaw to go and save them. They're having that debate in one scene, while Picard and Riker and Jack are, kind of having their little debate on what to do and how to get out of the situation on their ship that has been failing and kind of is, just sitting there. And, nothing we can do. We're like dead in the water. And then Picard goes and puts all of these transporter inhibitors, which I saw some people crying that they're like, where did those come from? I'm like, I don't know, maybe open a drawer and it was there. Maybe it's like a standard issue that like certain things are kept in certain places on ship. At least that's what I thought, but I don't know. I do look obnoxiously into certain things, but that was just something that didn't really bother me too much, especially since they're going into a ship that has been damaged. It's not out of the ordinary that he's not a captain, he's an admiral, but Admiral Jean-Luc Picard would think to bring, I don't know, some kind of supplies with him just in case if they are going to try to get transported away by bad guys. So that wasn't really out of the norm for me, but I saw some people crying about it, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe thinking ahead. Maybe that was something that Jean-Luc Picard thought ahead about. I don't know, maybe just me. But that was something that I didn't think was a make or break on the episode, but I saw some people complain about, which is why I'm talking about it. Now, they're having this whole debate. The chick from Pulp Fiction is right there, and she's smoking, which I saw people like. My friend Cecil and my friend Cecil and Yellow Flash were like, yeah, the bad lady's smoking. I was like, yeah, she did give kind of like a Dr. Evil twisting the mustache thing, and I wasn't worried about her ship, because she's like, I'll kill you. Basically, they want Jack. They try to transport him out. And Picard's like, yeah, see, obviously, they don't want to kill you. They want you alive, or else they would have blown up the entire ship. But they're not blowing up the ship. They want you alive. Not us, not Riker, not Picard. They want Jack. So what the fuck did Jack do? Which they didn't really get to that in this episode. So obviously, we got however many episodes in the season, so we're going to get to that eventually. But so Seven convinces Shaw to go and save Picard and Riker, because she's just like, homeboy, stop being a C word, and, or I should say stop being a P word, stop being a pussy, and man the F up, and go and save them. Because do you want to just let them die? Do you want to let two of like the most beloved people in Starfleet die? Or do you want to be the dude that saves them? And she's like, haha, that got him to go. So he goes and he saves them. And it's this cool scene where their ship goes and like blocks the why am I blanking on the word for this thing? I want to say transporter, but that's not the word. Tractor beam, that was the word I was looking for. So they go and they block the tractor beam, which is really, really cool. And I was like, that's where the visuals went. That's where the visual effects. They had to turn down all the lights on all the ships so that way they could do that. I was like, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I have brightness up on my phone. I can look at it on my phone. I can fix it, because some people were complaining about the darkness. And I'm like, I know people don't like doing this, but I'm like, homeboy, just watch it on your phone and turn up all the brightness. I could see it just perfectly fine. But when I watch it on my computer, yeah, it is a little bit dark. But also, I'm sitting back in this cool Batman chair that I made, by the way, and my computer screen's like all the way over here, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so yeah, when I watch it on my computer screen, it's really freaking dark. But on my phone, I'm like, hey, brightness works just great, right? All right, and I'm talking very, very fast, guys, because I've had a lot of caffeine today. Woo, okay, but we're gonna get back to the review. Okay, so then they save them, they get them on the ship, they turn off the transporter inhibitors, they get them on the ship, and they're like, all right, we got to negotiate with this lady. And honestly, she is more freaky than her damn ship. She is like, just toying with them and talking, and she's just laughing, enjoying herself. It's great. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen this crazy lady in forever, and she's so good. She's such a great villain. What a great casting choice. Like I said, I'm not even worried about the ship, because I know that they can get out of that situation, because I've been watching Star Trek since I was a little kid, and I've seen them get out of worse situations. So obviously they had a different type of ship, but whatever. I'm like, you can get away from the ship. You can figure it out. Somebody will get there. Somebody will show up. You'll figure it out, so you'll outsmart the situation. But that chick be crazy. And the most dangerous thing, I feel like, is dealing with a crazy loose cannon type of person. And she seems like that, and she seems to really enjoy toying with people, which she does throughout this episode. Great villain right off the bat, and I like these kind of villains. So that was cool. And then she gives them 1 hour to basically decide to send Jack over. Now, Beverly got transported directly to sick bay, so she's still out of commission. Riker and Picard have this little thing like, you know who he is. You know exactly. Like, do you want to talk about the elephant in the room? Picard's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. They arrest Jack because they find out he's got a whole list of criminal records. So they put him in the brig. Picard goes down and talks to him. And he has this moment where, like, he's, you know, they're going back and forth about it. And then he's just like, who is your father? And he's like, I don't have a father. And Picard, like, he just does this thing where he's just like, it looked like he was about to cry. And, like, Jack is just staring at him. And Picard is just like he doesn't say anything, and it's just like so uncomfortable because we all know that he's his fucking father, and it's like, ah! And then he gets up and leaves, and it's all dramatic. And then he's got to, you know, get out of the brig because, of course, it's Jack. He's Captain Picard's son, even though we haven't admitted that yet, or nobody has admitted that yet. We all know that he is. So Jack figures out a way to get out. And, you know, while they're all having their little powwow session, trying to figure everything out on the bridge, and the ladies bugging them, Jack escapes. He gets to the transporter, which Picard's like, yo, if he wanted to get the heck out of here and escape, he would have just gone and gotten a shuttle. But no, he didn't. He went directly to the transporter. And so he's going to transport off to the ship. So that way, you know, it doesn't, you know, reflect badly on his mother. What a great kid, right? Aside from everything else that he probably has done. And then Riker, you know, he went and woke up Beverly. He's like, get her out of sickbay because we need her. Because Shaw said this whole line to him about how he's just like, oh, how convenient. A woman that's like incapacitated that can't speak for herself. You're gonna, you know, defend her and take her side on this. How noble of you. And so Riker goes and wakes her up. She comes to the bridge right at like the most critical time when Shaw's like, I'm gonna beam him over because I'm not gonna sacrifice my entire crew for this one dude who we don't even know who he is. And then she comes up onto the bridge. She's obviously hurt. She doesn't say a damn thing. And she's looking at Picard, and Picard's looking at her, and it's just this moment of no words were needed, which is great. This is how you know you got talented actors, and you have them, and they're just staring at each other, looking at each other's in the eyes. And then he's just like, he's my son, we're not letting him go. And Picard takes command of this ship, and basically, you know, it's like, ah, and he says, you know, he's my son. And that's when Shaw's like, ah, shit, all right. And then he tells him, like, tactical positions, we're all gonna do this. Like, it's a 100% like, all right, he's your kid, we gotta fight this. And it's like, ah, no, it's like, I didn't know that was gonna happen from the beginning of the episode. Which, guys, again, I don't really mind when I predict the episode. Like, I don't really mind that. When I don't mind either being pleasantly surprised by things. What I do not like is when I'm watching a movie, specifically, you know, Star Wars, and I'm watching Star Wars. I know I'm talking about Star Trek right now, but I'm going to give you an example. When I'm watching Star Wars and I'm like, oh, it's Luke Skywalker, and he does something like totally out there that I wasn't expecting, and I don't mean throwing a lightsaber and saying, oh, hey, you know how you watched all of this character development and you knew exactly, you know, the kind of things that Luke Skywalker does and says, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that and become basically Jake Skywalker. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I don't like. But when I'm watching a show and I'm like, okay, because I have watched these characters for decades, because yeah, I know even though there's only 7 seasons of The Next Generation, I have been watching Star Trek my entire life. So I kind of feel like I know these characters and I know how they would react to things. So when they do things that are in character for them, I'm not mad because I know that that's the way that they would react to things. So watching this, yes, it was, you know, predictable to me, but I didn't mind that, and it was enjoyable watching because these are characters that I have, you know, extensive knowledge on. And if you guys are watching this for the first time, like let's say maybe you just watched The Next Generation, or maybe you're just watching Picard season 3 and you don't know that much about these characters, it still makes sense the way that they're doing things. And it was a very enjoyable episode. And, you know, they take evasive maneuvers and they take off into the nebula, and the crazy lady starts laughing. She's going to go after them, and that's the episode. It was fun. It was predictable. It didn't really hit me in the fifis the way that the first episode did, except for like I got different types of emotions. When I watched episode 1, it was like, oh my gosh, I've been holding my breath for years and I finally have oxygen, because like this is somebody is actually trying. This episode was, now I know that like people are actually trying, and I'm watching it, and it's like, even though I know what they're going to say and what they're going to do. It's the way that I'm seeing these characters that I've grown up watching react to things. And that's what's getting me. When Picard got emotional because Jack said that he didn't have a father, and Picard obviously knows that that's his son. And then when Picard and Beverly make eye contact, knowing, and then he says, like, he's my son, I basically got to save my kid. It's like, the Phoebes, even with Riker, and, you know, him just saying, like, Picard, come on, like, the elephant in the room, that got me, and the Fifis. And again, it's a different type of Fifis in the first episode, but this one I still did enjoy, and I am looking forward to the third one. But guys, I completely get it. One of my really good friends was saying that, he's like, Anna, you just have what Stockholm syndrome. He's like, you're so used to getting shit that when something is like mildly good, like it's like getting ice cream after years of getting fed dog shit. And I'm like, okay, I kind of understand, but at the same time, I still am enjoying this. So I don't think, you know, I don't know really how to vocalize that. But let me know what you think about all of it down below in the comments. Let me know if you guys liked this episode, if you liked my review. I know I was kind of more spaz brain than usual, but again, I'm like, had a lot of caffeine, and I had to film this review right now. So I'm sorry I didn't wait till I like died down. I'm still like, crazy right now. But let me know what you thought about it all down below in the comment section. If you guys liked this video, please smash the like button. If you didn't, that's okay, dude. Thank you so much for watching this far through. And if you guys haven't yet, maybe take a minute, smash that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, make sure that the bell is set to all, that we actually get notifications when I post videos and when I do live streams, because I do live streams where I break down these episodes scene by scene. So make sure that subscribe button is smashed and the bell is rung, so that way you get notifications for that. And with that being said, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.
Once again, everyone, thank you so much for supporting my channel, my content. And if you guys would like to see more, I actually have a gaming channel over on Twitch. And if you guys are interested in that, you guys can go follow me over there. I play fun games like Elden Ring and KOTOR, and I'm going to be playing much more games in the future. So go over there, give it a follow, and check it out. Also, if you guys want to keep up to date on my cosplay endeavors and behind the scenes posts, go follow me over on my Instagram. It's thatstarwarsgirl77. I post fun photos and behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see anywhere else on the internet. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support the channel and my content, go over to my Etsy store for merch. I have cosplay posters, my old cosplay calendars are available there, as well as prints of my original oil paintings, and more is going to be added in the future. So continue to check up on that. If you guys have seen something that you like, that you would like to purchase, all of that is available over on my Etsy. Everything that I've just shown you is linked in the description of this video. So go check it out if you're interested. And guys, once again, thank you so much for watching my channel and my content, and have a great rest of your day.